And this pump has a discharge leak, and I had some electrical tape that was holding it in place until I was able to replumb it. I'll show you how to do that right now. This is a good stopgap in between. Okay, you're going to need some parts for this job. You can use the high heat nipple gray pipe. This is 160 degree rated. You can also use this also. It's another connector that threads into the pump. You're going to need various elbows and couplings possibly. I'm going to show you how to use the fitting extender on this repair. You'll need a joint stick to use on the threads. You're going to need some pull tight high pressure PVC cement and a ruler to measure the pipes, and you may need some 2-inch PVC pipe depending on how much you have to cut. I'm going to show you how to use the fitting extender here. So I'm going to cut it right at the elbow here, and I'm going to use the fitting extender on this elbow. That way you get an idea how to use it in your repair. Let me cut this off right here. This should just thread right out of the pump. I'm going to go ahead and get this. You may need a wrench also. Okay. And this was also the high heat pipe connector, but of course it still melts if the pump runs dry. I'm going to put a fitting extender on this elbow. I'll put a coupling over it, and that's going to set right over the threaded pipe here going into the pump. I'm going to measure where I'm going to cut the pipe here that threads in. Again, you have to measure, kind of give it some threads. So I'm going to cut it right about, and you want it to go into the coupling. Okay, that should give me enough. I'm going to cut it right there, and that should do the trick. Okay, so I'm going to cut it right along the mark that I have here. After you cut it, you want to get it as straight as you can across. And this particular pipe comes with 2 threaded ends. I used one on another repair job earlier. Okay, now I'm going to bring it back over here, the part that I cut. I'm going to thread in like that and set on there. Glue the coupling, 2-inch coupling into the fitting extender right here. It'll set right on here. A little glue in here. Get that there. I'm going to push down. There's that part. Plasto-Joint stick. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the threads here on this fitting that goes on the pump. Something like this when you're done. Use a generous amount. And I'm going to thread it in right now. You can also take this off at the elbow to make it easier if you wanted to, but I'm going to show you the fitting extender. That's why I'm doing this a little bit harder than it has to be. Let me thread this in really good. You want to thread it in all the way till it stops. You might want to use a wrench too sometimes if you need to. Use a wrench to give it a few more turns. It's on there good. Okay. And here comes the tricky part. You can create a little bit of slack. The pipes can move without breaking. You want to make sure we don't break anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the fitting extender. Again, this will dry pretty quick, so you got to act fast. I'll put some glue here on this elbow. Then again, glue on this part. And again, you can paint this when you're done. Make it look really nice. Some glue inside this fitting here. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of slack by pulling up. I'm going to push down and make sure that's on there snug. And that's a good way to use a fitting extender here on this repair. You can also cut the pipe off to here or here and put a coupling and another elbow to get that on there. And of course, since I did this repair earlier, I could have replumbed everything at once, but I wanted to show you how to do it if you didn't have to replumb other parts of the pool and all you had was a discharge leak. And this glue says it cures in 30 minutes and it takes up to 180 psi pressure, which is plenty for the pool. I usually let 24 hours go by before I turn anything on, just to give it that extra time. You can also use pool heavy glue. This gives you a little more time with the fittings. It's a little slower drying glue, and it gives you a little more time if you need some time with the fittings. I like to leave everything off for 24 hours after doing a repair. And that's how you repair a discharge leak with the fitting extender. Okay, back over here, it looks like everything is good. Priming up. And the discharge is okay, no leak here either.